Hi there, my name is Paul Pearson, and along with my wife Amanda, I'm the owner of this Auto Trail Imala 720 motorhome. We've put together a selection of videos which are available on our YouTube channel, which is NZ Camper to Go, which will allow you to familiarise yourself with the van before you start your holiday. This should hopefully allow us to complete the handover process as quickly as possible and get you out on the road so you can start enjoying your time in the van. This video will focus on the external features of the van, so let's get into it. Okay, access into the van is either via the main doors here in the cab or via the main entranceway there. The remote control does have a traditional key on it. The only key access is from the driver's side, but I generally just use the remote control for opening up the cab. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly show you the bonnet release. There's hopefully something you'll never need, but just so you know where it is. Most cars have it on the driver's side, but as you can see on this model, it's here just inside the passenger door. So we just pull the lever, and I'll just take you around to the bonnet. And there's just the usual catch, which you have to feel for, just under there, and then there's your arm for taking the weight of the bonnet. Okay, hopefully you'll never need that, but just to let you know, that's where it is. Okay, so we're just going to work our way down this side of the van. As you can see, this is the main entrance into the van. There is a smaller key on the key fob here which does this door. Simple as that, and that will open up this door. There is a catch on this door. Up to there it's just loose, but if you push it further you can hear it when it engages, and that just holds the door secure. I'm not sure how much wind that would take, so I wouldn't, if it really is blowing, I would generally have the van door closed, but it does hold it in that position quite well. As you can see here, the step into the van is down at the moment. There's a button just on the inside here, and I'll just come around so you can see that, which is your up and down, and that's up, and then when you want to get in, it's down. That will automatically come up when the van is starting, when the engine is started, and you'll hear an alarm which will go off. It's quite loud, so you'll know it, but that tells you that the engine's been started and that the step here has been automatically put back into position, so you don't drive off with it down. Okay, so further down the van here we've got the main freshwater inlet. So I'll show you how to unlock the cap here. This can be a little bit temperamental, but I've managed to, I think, find the way that it works the best. So we lift up this small flap here. The key goes in, it's horizontal at the moment. I turn it to the vertical, and then you can just push in and release the cap. Okay, and obviously in reverse, and you'll notice there's three little lugs in here. They just need to engage in the hole there. So we put it back in, lift the flap, insert the key, and turn it back to the horizontal, and now that's locked. Okay, one of the storage units here on the at the rear of the van. I always keep these locked when I've taken out what I need. So the key goes in to the horizontal on this particular cupboard. Press in both at the same time. They can be a little bit sticky sometimes, so don't be that wouldn't be unusual. In here we generally store all of the camping seats and camping table as well. So when you're where you need to be and you want to set up yourself with the awning, and there'll be a separate video on the awning when I've got a bit more room. All your stuff for your outdoor use is stored in this cupboard here. So the cupboard just closes, and as I say, I normally just lock these up once I've got everything out. Okay, we've moved down to the other side of the van now, and starting with this particular little unit here. This is actually the exhaust outlet for the boiler, the freshwater boiler, which is located just inside this cupboard here. Very important with this that if you're running the hot water using the gas, and there's two options with the hot water, is either 240 volt electricity or the gas bottle, This vent must be removed if you're on the gas, because there is an exhaust outlet in here. It's open at the bottom here. You put your fingers under this little flap and pull, and then it lifts off the two lugs at the top. You can see the exhaust outlet here, which is why this must be exposed when running it on the gas. Okay, so to return the cover, and there are some instructions on the inside here that just remind you to replace this before you start your journey. I tend to put this on the driver's seat so that it's a reminder before we kick off the next phase of the journey that this needs to go back on. So it engages on the top first and then snaps shut. Okay, so we've got another storage unit here. At the moment there's not too much in here. I'll just show you what we have currently. So these unlock as before. Press both and open. In here at the moment are ramps, and these are used if you arrive at a campsite and the van isn't quite horizontal and you want to level it up, then you can use these to do that. Okay. Other than that, in here, as I said earlier, the only other item in here is the boiler for the fresh water and fresh hot water, which you shouldn't need to worry about. So, but just to let you know, that's where it is. Okay, I'll just lock this back up. Okay, moving down. We've got the toilet here. Only one locking button here. Press both together. Now in here we've got the Thetford toilet cassette. I'll be doing a separate video on the toilet, but this can be removed by lifting up the orange lever here and pulling out. There's your cassette. As I say, I'll do a separate video on how to set this up, and also how to do the necessary at the dump station when that need arises. It just slides back in. It just engages on the seat there, and then we can lock that back up. Okay. Okay, so moving on, we've now got the LPG gas bottle storage. Okay. Sorry, I've just locked them. This one is for some reason different to all the others. Unlock is in the vertical position. Okay. So here we have the main storage. As you can see here, this is my general dumping ground for a number of different items. So what we've got in here, this is the grey water pipe, which I'll show you how to use that later on. We also have in here freshwater hose for refilling your freshwater tank, and a washing line. So when you get to where you're going and you've had a swim, you can use this to hang your clothes out to dry. Now there's various other items in here. Toilet chemicals are all stored in this bucket here. We've got some latex gloves just for protection whilst you're emptying the toilet cassette, and there's some hand sanitizer in there. And there's a separate storage bucket down the back here with some tools in it. So if anything does occur where you need to repair something, or something's come undone, you need a spanner or a screwdriver, there are tools in here. There's also a hammer in here, which can be useful for when you're setting up the awning. There's some side straps which have tent pegs which go into the ground, and that can be useful for that. The main gas bottle, if you can I'll show you in here. The main gas bottle is here. Here is the main valve on the top of the gas bottle. It's closed at the moment. Turning it anti-clockwise will release the gas, so you can do your cooking inside. Just make sure that valve is completely open. I have had an occasion where I didn't open it fully and the gas was coming through in the kitchen, but it wasn't coming through completely full. It was just on a sort of half flow, and so when I realised that, I came and opened the valve fully, and it solved the problem. Okay, so clockwise to close that off. If you're not using the gas, obviously from a safety point of view, it's better to come and turn the gas off. Okay, and finally, just on this side, I'll just close up this this cupboard and looking. Now finally on this side, as you can see, we're plugged into AC power here in the house, but this would be your main inlet when you go to a campsite. There's a small blue button just on the left here which is depressed, and you pull this out and that disconnects the power. I tend to find that it's a good practice to get into to ensure that before you connect this up to the van, that any AC appliances within the van are already turned off. So for example, the battery charger, the AC power for the water boiler, those sorts of things, anything in the kitchen that might be on AC, make sure that those are turned off before you plug this in. It just makes isolating any issues with items that may trip some of the fuses in the van a little bit easier if there's nothing plugged in. Okay, now we're looking at the wastewater and freshwater outlet pipes here. This one is the wastewater. When you're in your campsite and you've filled up the grey water tank, this is your outlet pipe. There are two levers on the outside of this which are pulled like so, and that releases this small bung. There is then this pipe here which attaches in its place. I'll just unwrap it. Okay, so the pipe goes in and re-engage these two black clips. Now just around this side, you can't see it, but there's a grey lever which is the valve which opens and closes the grey water tank. So at the moment it's in the open position, but normally it would be in the closed position. So when you're ready to dump your grey water, you put that down the hole at the dump station and open the valve. Okay, just moving down the van now. The only other item on this side is the freshwater drain. Now you shouldn't need to use this. It's really, I guess, a case if you get some contamination in the freshwater tank, you might need to just unload what's in here. It's a simple on-off valve or open and close valve, and there's no pipe for this. You may just need to use a bucket and allow the fresh water to drain out. That's the end of this particular video. We hope it's been useful. Check out our other handover videos on YouTube. To find us, just search for NZ Camper to Go, and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you're sure to get any updates or new videos that we add from time to time. That's NZ Camper, the number 2 and Go. You can also check out our Facebook page by searching for the same name, and if you'd like to like our page, that would also be great. If you've got any suggestions of how we can improve the information we're providing here, you can email that to us at nzcampertogo@gmail.com. Thanks again for watching, and goodbye for now.